Welcome, everybody, to the Don Lemon Show. Representative Suzan DelBene has served Washington's 1st congressional district since 2012. She's also the chair of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, and we're so glad to have her with us on the Don Lemon Show. How are you doing?
You know, I'm doing okay, but I want to do better because I want to make sure our country's in a better place and the American people are doing better.
Yeah.
That's what we've been fighting for.
Amen to that. So let me ask you about where we are in this moment as we're taping this. Earlier this morning, again, as we're taping, you and I now, the OMB director, Russell Vought, announced that the Trump administration has frozen about $18 billion for infrastructure projects in New York City to ensure that the funding and is not, and I quote here, flowing based on unconstitutional DEI principles. That's a quote from him. The funding was earmarked for the Hudson River Tunnel project and the Second Avenue subway project. What is your reaction to this?
I think this says everything about who Republicans are right now. At a time where the American people are seeing costs rising, where they want folks to stand up to help working families. We have Democrats who've been fighting to stand up for working families, fighting for health care, affordable health care for folks across the country. And Republicans' first focus is how to inflict pain on the American people, how to hurt the American people. That says it all. They are not about what can we do to help make sure that the government's working for the American people. It's about inflicting pain. I don't think there could be more of a stark contrast.
Well, look, I think some people wonder, like, what does New York City have to do with it? Why should I care about New York City? I'm wondering, though, if you think this is escalatory, if it's an escalatory tactic to try to get Democrats back to the negotiating table, right? Because Hakeem Jeffries, New York, Chuck Schumer, New York, or is this something different? I mean, Vought, he didn't mention the shutdown, only concerns about, what he says is unconstitutional DEI.
This is rhetoric they've used all along, but it's absolutely political and targeted. They have continued to do this even since the beginning of this administration, but it's about hurting the American people. And our jobs should be for every single member of Congress and for the administration to do what we can to help the American people. And let's be clear, these are also dollars appropriated by Congress. The administration has continued to think that they can, prevent funds from flowing that Congress has approved. So there will continue to also be litigation in areas where they've withheld funds where they don't have the authority to do so.
Chair DelBene, why are Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and Republicans, Mike Johnson, all of them, why are they saying Democrats shut the government down to get undocumented Americans health care? Now, we know that it is a lie, but is there any truth to what they're saying whatsoever?
It's a lie. And their ongoing attempts to distract from the real issues that are out there. The real issue that is out there is that they've gutted healthcare across this country with their big ugly bill, massive cuts to Medicaid. They have a $500 billion cut to Medicare as a result of their policies. And now the tax credits that millions of people have used across the country to help make healthcare affordable for folks who buy their healthcare on the exchanges. Those tax credits expire at the end of the year. People across the country see what's happening. Notices go out in many places this month with premium hikes, double-digit hikes across the country without those tax credits as well. If I use my state of Washington as an example, people are going to see a 65% increase in their premiums next year. That's January of next year. And about 80,000 people in our state are expected to lose healthcare coverage because they won't be able to afford it anymore. And that's not even talking about what happens with Medicaid or the fact that jobs have been cut at hospitals and healthcare institutions across the country because of what is happening to healthcare already. And the attacks they've made on public health over and over, they have created a healthcare crisis. And we are saying we need to address that now because, again, notices are going out to folks this month. Open enrollment starts November 1st. This is something that cannot wait.
I heard something come out of the president's mouth the other day as it relates to this, whether to sign this CR or not, where he said, well, the Democrats want transgender everything. What do trans people have to do with this?
This is again the ongoing distraction from this administration. Uh, all they have to do is go talk to people on the ground. Republicans go talk to people in their districts. People in battleground districts, in the purple districts across the country, have been clear. They want the premium tax credits extended because they want to make sure they have affordable health care. Rural hospitals are at risk. Rural hospitals in many Republican districts across the country as well. The story after story after story out there from families that are being impacted because of the healthcare crisis that Republicans have created. All they have to do is listen to people on the ground. And frankly, Republicans in Congress are the ones who should be standing up. Republicans in Congress should be the voice of their communities. They absolutely are not. They are blindly loyal to Donald Trump. And House Republicans didn't even show up in DC this week. They were fine with shutting the government down. They didn't even appear here because I guess they don't care. They don't care about doing the job that they're elected to do, which is represent their communities, listening to their communities and fighting for policies that help their communities. Instead, it's about distraction and now about inflicting pain on communities, not about helping American families.
I wonder if you find it worrying, though, that 3 Senate Democrats voted in favor of the GOP funding package last night. I mean, it still failed, but I wonder if that's a sign of future waning resolve among Democrats.
I think that if you talk to folks across the country again, talk to Americans on the ground, they are very clear. Costs are going up. They're being hurt by the actions of this administration, the healthcare crisis that's been created, but also costs going up on food, housing, because of tariffs, the uncertainty, the impact it's had on businesses, on small businesses, especially small businesses trying to get healthcare on the exchanges to help provide healthcare to the employees. The impact has been great across the country. The number one promise that Donald Trump made to the country when he was running for office was that he would lower prices on day one. That is a broken promise, and it's been broken over and over and over again. That is what the American people are asking for, and that's why you see us standing up strong. And I know the American people are on our side.
Chairwoman, I don't know if you look at it this way with this framing about who will cave first, but who do you think will compromise? Will both sides compromise? Because right now, you should know, right? If you're the chair of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, you should know that Democrats right now want the leadership to stand up to the Republicans. So who do you think is going to blink?
Well, I think it all starts with negotiation and talking about the issues that we're hearing from our communities. Turns out the fiscal year always starts on October 1st. This was not some surprise date that just popped up. This has been true every year over and over and over again. Republicans are in charge of the House, the Senate, and the White House. They could have moved appropriation, the funding bills that needed to be passed to fund the government for a whole year. They could have been working on that long time ago. They didn't. They waited. They argued. They did not work in a bipartisan fashion. And now they seem surprised that here's where we're at. The way we move forward is we make sure that we have strong bipartisan legislation. That's how it works. They know they needed the votes. They always knew that. And so that's how it starts, is sitting at the table, talking about the issues and coming up with a solution that can have bipartisan support. Republicans, again, are in charge of the House, the Senate, and the White House. They are supposed to be finding the path forward. We have offered proposals. We're here in town. House Republicans aren't in town. The way we come up with a solution is people sit at the table. Republicans seem fine with a shutdown. They don't seem interested in negotiating. And frankly, this is something that should have been taking place a long time ago. Yet they've been continuing with this brinkmanship.
Can we talk about the jobs numbers that we got this morning? This is according to ADP. ADP says the August payroll numbers, those numbers were revised to a loss of negative 3,000 jobs from initially reporting an increase of 54,000 jobs. What is wrong in Trump's economy? What is happening in Trump's economy? This is terrible news.
It's terrible news on top of terrible news that you look at the chaos that has been created by this administration, tariffs on, off, the uncertainty that's being created, prices going up for American families, and tariffs or taxes on American families. We've seen housing prices go up, food prices go up, energy prices go up. Talk to businesses. I talked to a business in my district who described it well. He said he was being tariffed out of business, that his opportunities internationally were going away because people weren't sure what was going to happen in the US, and they wanted places where they'd have stability in pricing. If you talk to businesses, and my career, I spent a long career in business, businesses want certainty to plan in the absence of understanding what's happening with our economy. People are more conservative. They're not making the investments they might otherwise do. They're
So you
hiring.
think Americans
All
are
of these.
feeling now how bad the economy is right now?
Absolutely.
You do? Okay.
Absolutely. And you find that out by just talking to people in communities. And we know Republicans have not been interested in having town halls or going to meet with their communities. If you do, you'll hear that, because this isn't something unique to one part of the country. Our farmers are hurting. They've been impacted by trade and tariffs, and had workforce challenges. It's rural America. It's urban America. This is impacting communities all across the country. And it's directly a result of policies that have been put in place by this president and Republican Congress.
There's frustration among Democrats about, rank and file, I should say, everyday average American Democrats, about the party's leadership and the party's messengers right now. Messengers. What do you make of the Democratic Party's biggest messengers right now? Do you think that they are effective? How can they be better? I mean, it just seems to me that Republicans so often enjoy narrative dominance, and they're trying it with this one, calling it the Schumer shutdown or the Democratic shutdown.
And again, we are on the ground in our communities across the country. Our biggest messengers are representatives in their communities. We have incredible members of Congress who are out in their communities, who have been talking and listening to their constituents. People may not realize that in 2024, because we had great candidates talking about the issues that matter on the ground, we actually have 14 Democrats who won in districts that Donald Trump won in. We have folks in purple districts across the country because they are strong voices for their community. And we have incredible candidates running in purple districts across the country right now because they are connected to their communities, they are listening, and they're talking about the policies that matter on the ground. Number one being the cost of living and lowering costs. That's why we actually picked up seats in 2024. Democrats are running ahead in special elections by 15 points so far this year. And why I feel confident we're going to take back the majority in the House. Republicans aren't listening. We need strong, authentic, independent-minded representatives. That's what we have. And that's what you hear on the ground in communities. They're going to continue. They have the White House. They have a bully pulpit there. They're going to continue to, spread their disinformation out there. But we're going to have folks doing the work on the ground right now. That's what makes a difference. And that's what people are hearing and seeing in their community. And also, they are feeling the pain as a result of Republican policies. They're feeling that too.
Representative Suzan DelBene, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.